Nehemiah. Okay, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Part 3 of this series of talking about my completions. I decided to do completions 150 to 215 today. Just because a lot has happened after the 200th tower that I feel like I want to talk about. Actually, not a lot has happened. I don't know why I did that, but we're doing it anyway. Too late now. So, essentially, it keeps moving my tower completions back. Like, at the end of the last part, which was apparently a year ago now, Tower of Leave and Recollection was my 150th tower, and now it's 147th. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we did do it. It's also saying Purgatorio Tower Rush. I did that before Starlit Archives release, but I did the Purgatorio. You know what? We're gonna take all this with a grain of salt. Yeah, okay. Anyways, so after leaving Recollection, I just continued through Starlit Archives, probably the worst area in the game. I got up to, I think my highest is 2 Minute Noodles is my hardest from that area. And I was going to do Tower of the Umbrella, the user, which is, in my opinion, the most overrated tower in the whole game. It is so bad. I don't know why people like it so much. But anyways, I was going to do that, but then I got soft locked like 60 minutes in, and I haven't played the tower since. I probably will do it this summer, though, just because I have a lot of time. But it's a 90-minute tower. Like, yeah. Anyways, so I just continue doing difficults and challenging. No, I continue doing challengings. Sequel of Hallucinatory Spectacles got moved down to difficult. That's why it says that. Okay. I did Voluminous framework in Ring 8. That was really fun. It has golf and like the last 2 floors. I think you should play it just for the golfing alone. Did another intense mechanically induced mayhem. At this point, intenses were becoming a lot more like challengings for me. Like I could bang them out pretty quickly. And this is all happening in June. And then I did Latest Sensation in Zone 9, which I believe is the sequel to Melons in Time. But I could be wrong. It wasn't as good as Melons in Time for sure though. And then I took a month-long break. So I beat Latest Sensation on June 20th, and I didn't beat another tower until July 23rd. I'm not sure what I was doing during that break. I don't think I was playing much EToH, but maybe I was, and I just couldn't beat anything. But I beat Tower of Twisted Inquisition on July 23rd, and then the next day, on my birthday, July 24th, I beat Tower of There Is No Tower. Which, I was really scared for Tower of There Is No Tower. I thought it was going to be bad, but no, it was pretty good. Beat a couple more intenses. Holy Flip. I feel like that was a really good skill boost. I also beat Shadowy Radiance. That was just a free tower. I mean, it's netted, and there's like a timed section on the final floor, but it's not that hard. And then I actually beat, oh wow, there was a lot of time between this as well, because I'm doing some challengings in between here. I'm just not mentioning them. On September 16th, 2025, near the start of the school year, I finally beat Citadel of Laptop Splitting. It's really funny, because when I see a lot of people grinding the Citadel, they take an abysmal amount of time on it. It's like their first really long grind, they take like 20 hours, whatever. For me, because I waited so long, my skill was so high, I'm pretty sure I spent a total of 4 hours. And that includes the time that I was grinding it a few months ago. Like, I beat the Citadel pretty quickly. And then literally 4 days later, no tower completions in between, I beat the Citadel of Green Stuff. So 2 intense Citadels back to back felt pretty good. And then they added 4 towers to Paradise Atoll to make it more beginner friendly, but then kept it in Zone 3, so I'm not sure why they did that. But those 4 towers do exist there. We then, on October 9th, 2025, I officially beat my hardest tower to this day, Tower of True Skill. I have 25 hours on this tower, I believe, and man, did it feel good to finally beat it. Especially because this wasn't like Overbearing Vertigo where I beat it with a vertical mobility. Uh, at first, I beat it legit. For not first try, but yeah. And this is actually I beat this before they nerfed the tower. So it used to be a 7.12, now it's a 7.09. Um, but yeah, because they nerfed it because they made the invisible section on floor 4, you could actually see it, and they changed floor 10. So I beat the pre-nerfed version, not to brag. Um, but yeah, I'm still looking for a tower to be beyond that. I'm working on Tower of Eternal Suffering right now, but that is still my hardest tower. And then I unlocked Zone 10 because I beat 2 rems, so I started doing stuff there. Zone 10 is super mid. Um, and then Purgatorio released, and I started grinding the heck out of that. It looks like it released on the 27th, and my plan was to beat everything in there in one day, but I didn't because I had work like that entire week, so I barely got to play it. But I did the easies one day, and then the mediums, or half the mediums, and the other mediums, and then it took me up till November 1st to beat Citadel of Victory, and I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was around November 20th, maybe, that I beat the Purgatorio Tower Rush, which actually that was so fun to do. Because it took me a long time, and so I'd sit in like my Discord call or whatever, and people would like join and leave, and it was just a lot of fun. Then we beat Table Flipping in Ring 2, which was great because I was cleaning up Ring 2 because I had a lot of incomplete towers in there. Oh, and speaking of finishing up rings, I am done with Ring 1 besides the Tower Rush and the Tower of Infinity Gauntlet. I do want to do the Tower Rush this summer or at the start of the school year next year. Again, it's a thing I need a lot of time for, but I'm going to be in college next year, so while it's not as much time as the summer, I will have I still will have a lot more free time than I did in high school. Anyways, so then I beat Steeple of Huge Pain on December 13th, 2025, and then took a break all the way to January 1st, it looks like, where I beat Tower of Deep Darkness in Ring 2. That was the first completion of 2026. Then beat 2 more intenses, Increasing Stress and Great Overcomings. Both of them I think were really good skill boosts. And then on January 19th, 2026, I beat my 3rd Remorseless, Tower of Forever Sleeping Flower. Although this was my easiest Remorseless, I do think it was a nice little skill boost. And still, beating Remorselesses to me is still super satisfying. And then I continue just banging out towers in Ashen. I beat Tower of Whisking It All. And then Steel Spire Horizon released. And this area took me a long time to get through. Because I was just, even though it was a lot of easy towers, I was just not attached to the game. In the same way I was used to. Like, I started questioning, like, this was like it wasn't necessarily a break, but it was more like, am I actually quitting EToH? Is kind of what was happening here. And of course, just in the fashion of Starlight Archives and Purgatorio, this area released on a day I had to go to work. So I couldn't really play it that much. And then I found out, after beating some Steel Spire stuff, I found out you can actually, because there was still like 3 towers, or 2 towers I think, that I'd beaten with vertical mobility. And it was really annoying that I had those as tower points. Or it said that those were completed. And I found out you can delete the badge from your inventory and then have the game recount your badges, and then it won't count as completed anymore. So that inspired me to beat it. So I beat Tower of Mild Agitation, which was the only difficult I beat with vertical mobility. And then just a bunch of challengings. Break It, Buy It, Collective Collaboration. Finally, Tower of Despair. Oh, also, Steeple of Dungeon Runner was my 200th tower. I forgot to mention that. We are in the 200s now. And these were all somewhat spaced apart. This was throughout the month of March and April. And then I beat Tower of Tokyo Heights I was about to say Amazing Tower. I'm not sure about it. I still don't know how I feel about it. I think it's good quality for Ring 5, but I don't know. It was just kind of annoying, especially the ladder flicks on the last floor. And then, yeah, just a bunch more challengings. Um, I beat Tower of Odyssey on May 8th, and then took a break all the way to June 4th, where I beat Tower of Traps legit, because that was also one that I vertical mobiled. Um, and I did Tower of Shattered Dreams as Tower 215. And I guess I'll go one more because I didn't. It's the only other tower I have beaten is Steeple of Guiding Lights. I beat 2 days ago. It is June 19th as I'm recording this. Um, and yeah, that is my journey from 150 to 215. Obviously, beat more citadels, cleared a lot of challengings out. I believe I have 46 out of 64 challengings. So that's less than 20 left. Uh, 18 intenses and 3 rems. I'm making a promise right now. Obviously, a lot of pros out there are like, you have 216 towers and you have 0 soul crushings. How is that even possible? So I'm making a promise right now. Between now, Tower 216 and Tower 250, I will beat the Tower of Double Trouble. I will be a soul crushing, at least one, maybe even more, because I'm so ready to beat one. I got 2 more rems I'm doing, and then I'm gonna hit up Double Trouble grinding again. I was grinding it for a bit, but I think I'm ready. And then I'm gonna fully devote myself to Double Trouble. Like I might do some. Like other challengings and intenses and some rems like kind of sprinkled in between, but I'm not gonna make them my main focus. But again, like I do really want to finish all the challengings as I'm getting pretty close. But yeah, that's my journey. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next 50 towers.